Okay, good afternoon, folks. Good afternoon. Make sure we are coming through okay. It's that time of the week again. Good afternoon, Nicholas Bates. Good afternoon, Paddler, Colin, Richard. Good to see you, Max Norbury, loud and clear. Thank you. This is your time next week. Next month, Max. You can have a go at this. Wizard Alvin's in the room, Monoman, Trendy, Tech, Mark, Anthony Speckle, and loads of others as well. We've got a great showing in the members room today as well. Also, welcome to all the YouTube followers as well. We've opened this door out for the next 45 minutes or an hour or so, just to give you a bit of an insight to what we do each and every day around the clock, 5 or 6 times a day in our trading rooms. So you're welcome today. Please do sit back and enjoy. Hopefully make some money. Maybe not. Might not be such a big event today. We will see. But at any point, if you have any questions, then please do jot them down there. Of course, I won't be watching the YouTube channel today, so we're at the moment live, so I won't be able to interact with you personally, but I'll certainly get back to any questions that you may have. Anytime you want to join the community here, of course, you can do so with the link below. It shows you how to get involved as well. So briefly, what we're going to be doing today, we do it every non-farm payroll, which is the first Friday of the month. The first Friday of the month basically is, unless it's bank holiday or something like that, but it's normally the non-farm payroll event. It is generally the biggest event of the calendar month. You've often heard that expression in the past when the USA sneezes, the rest of the world catches a cold. So the whole world, basically, the whole financial world is looking at the US economy to get their lead on where general markets are going. Non-farm payroll is important. As you know, all central banks around the world, they have a mandate normally to control inflation, normally to keep inflation around 2%, and job reports, how much people are earning and how many people are employed, is a good indication of what is happening to inflation. Clearly, more people are employed, more people are earning money, then more people are spending money. And if they're spending money, then of course up go prices. And if the prices are exceeding the mandated level that the central banks have, then of course they have to react. And how they react, of course, is by moving interest rates. And as currency traders, as forex traders, we are always looking at interest rates, because if the interest rates are higher in a particular economy, it basically means more investment are going into their markets and their bond markets, in which case you have to buy the currency. Generally speaking, interest rates are going up, so should that currency. If interest rates are coming down, the currency tends to weaken as well. That is just basic economics. So this job number, the biggest number of the week, as I say, it's the US employment numbers. US employment has been averaging over the last 12 months or so around 150,000 new jobs added. Remember, these are jobs added outside of the agricultural sector. That's why it's called non-farm payroll, outside of the agricultural sector. It's been averaging around 150,000. It's become less important over the last few years. Certainly a few years, been more. Well, certainly the last year. The components that we look at more so maybe the average earnings average earnings and actually the hours worked as well. By the way, after this quick analysis, we'll look at the screens and then we'll do the prize giveaway. I know a lot of you are here for the prize giveaway. Of course, if you're on the YouTube channel, then you won't be involved in the prize giveaway, but I will be giving away $1,500 as well today, just after this analysis. So this number, is it going to be a strong number? Is it going to be a weak number? The general consensus is that we are looking for a report of around 170,000, and the average earnings coming in around 0.3 and the unemployment rate at 3.7. Will it be a strong number? Well, impossible to say. If you look at the ISM numbers from yesterday, the components of that, the employment components of that actually were the weakest they've been for 3 or 4 years. The ADP number, which is the weekly job numbers that came out, comes out, that was basically stronger than expected. It's pretty much, I think, an even bet whether we're going to beat expectations today or whether we're going to come back on expectations. Personally, I think the number is going to be a bit weaker than the expectations, in which case the US dollar should come down. So is this number going to be as important as the recent numbers? A couple of things going on in the US economy at the moment. Trump is playing games with China on his trade. Okay, so what's been driving the markets, certainly the markets over the last month or so, is China's and US trade talks. Trump, as we know, he likes to play the deal, the art of the deal. They've all been slapping tariffs on each other. China kicked it off about 2 weeks ago today, in fact, and then they had that G7 weekend, and Trump was basically escalating the tensions. Then he came back on the Monday and said that they maybe will be a bit more conciliatory, so it became a bit more risk on in the markets. And now, since yesterday, basically they have said that they're going to get together next month for meaningful talks on trade. So this is maybe more important than what 1 month's worth of data is going to show. So that, I think, is what's driving the markets. If you look at what's been happening on the stock markets have taken on a massive move up from basically the height of the G7, height of the trade problems or talks. We put on about almost 1,500 on the Dow. The dollar is on 2.5-year highs. Clearly, when investors buy stocks, the biggest move out of asset they move out of is the bond markets. And when the bond markets go down, the yields go up, interest rates go up. That's why the US dollar is it's been pushing high. So the China-US trade is pretty much, I think, maybe more important to what's going on in the state of the economy. And the other thing to mention is that Powell, who is the Fed chair, he's going to be talking tonight. And this is the last time they talk, or they have a shutdown basically between, I think it's about 10 days before the actual Fed meeting, which is on the 18th of September. So this is basically like the shutdown. So from now on, you won't see any Fed talk, any presidents talking about their views. So he's basically got the last word this afternoon on interest rates. And we are debating. We are watching. Are they going to be having 1 rate cut, 2 rate cuts, or 3 rate cuts? I think this afternoon, read from Powell will be more important, possibly, than these non-farm payroll numbers that we're seeing today. So a lot to consider, not just 1 month data. You've got the Powell, you've got China. This could be an indication. At the moment, the Fed Fund futures rate is actually pricing in 2 rate cuts by the end of the year. If these numbers are very, very strong today, if these numbers are going to exceed 200,000, if we're going to see average earnings running up 0.4, 0.5%, if we're going to see numbers coming in, on the unemployment down, say 3.5%, something like that, these are going to be strong numbers. The talk will be maybe we only need 1 cut for the rest of this year. If the weak numbers, of course, it could cement the case that we're going to be seeing certainly 2 cuts, possibly, as some analysts are calling for 3. Right, let's have a little span round to the screen, then I can have a quick check on the chat as well. Let me just stick that camera on, which is basically a better view. There you go, folks. Hello all. Hello all. How are we? You now see my face nice and clearly. Good. Right. Okay. So this is basically what I'm looking at here on the screen. 200,000 is a strong number. Average earnings will come in at 0.4, up employment 3.5. On that basis, you would expect the US dollar to push higher. So a strong number is good for the US dollar. That's right. We've got 5 minutes to go. Weak number would be, and a strong number would see the euro dollar fall potentially back down to 109.75. Dollar yen could actually push up to 107.50. These are the extremes that I think we'll get to. We'll take maybe a trade on the back of that. Non-farm payroll less than 100,000. Average earnings only up at 0.1. Unemployment rate, high unemployment is bad for the dollar. You'd expect to see the euro dollar target 107.5. I think that's going to be the maximum we'll see. Might be eating my words later, but I think that's the maximum you'll see on some strong numbers. Why? Because we've got Eurozone ECB rates decisions next week. The data out of the Eurozone is not particularly very good. So although the US dollar should fall, the euro dollar might be capped at 110.75 maximum. Then you've got the dollar yen possibly having a fallback to 106.30. Let's have a quick look at the charts. You can take these numbers down, see how accurate I am at the end of it. I always keep a track. I'm actually quite good on these normally. Right, so basically what we're going to be doing, we're going to be looking at the, we'll be looking at the, I think the best currency, the other thing to mention, of course, is that we've got Canadian numbers out as well. And this is only for the guys in the room that have been following me. If you took the trade signal from Wednesday on our naked trade, we've already locked in profit targets, TP1. We locked in 80 pips there. It is the weekend. We've got some big data. I'm going to take profits on the second tranche of this now. So if you're listening in, hopefully you are. If you took the Wednesday trade signal, we're going to take profits on the second half of that now. So I'm now actually going to close that trade out. So we're out of the dollar CAD trade. If anyone else shops in the chat, ask the question and I've missed it, please someone remind them. We've cut out of our dollar CAD position. Why? Because obviously we've got CAD data out as well. I am a technical trader, but locking in 170 pips on a couple of days trade is well worth taking. Right, so we're going to be focusing predominantly on the dollar yen and the euro dollar on these numbers. Now I'm going to be using this risk management tool. If you don't have a risk management tool, I know I speak to the room every day about this. If you don't have a risk management tool, folks, you should have one. Whether you use ours or whether you use someone else's, that's absolutely fine, but you should be taking risk control on each and every trade that you do. This will ensure that I only risk 0.5% on this trading account. I'm only going to be taking this is a trading scalping account. I'm not going to be taking long-term views on this. Maybe in for 20-30 pips. We'll see how we go if indeed there is an opportunity. Okay, the green line is my profit target, red line is my stop loss. Okay, and we've got the pending order. If I switch to a pending order, in fact, I'm going to have an entry line, which is my yellow line. Wherever I move these is going to basically be my entry. It's going to work out for me the exact lot size that I need to use. I don't have to worry about lot size. I'm only going to be risking 0.5% on the account. There's the 0.5%, and it's going to work out the lot size. It's also going to show me the risk reward ratio as well. So I'm looking basically, if we have a weak number, you'll initially see the US dollar fall. The US dollar has been on a really nice run to the upside over the last 3 weeks, but we had a pullback. We had a pullback since Wednesday, but the pullback has basically stalled at this, basically around this 50% pullback zone at 109.26. You'll see it more clearly. In fact, if you go to the let's have a look here at the index. This is the dollar index. You see this big move we've had in the dollar. We've had a pullback. It stalled basically around the 98.20 level. Index is the 6 major currencies against the US dollar. We've come back in, we've tested the previous support. It's the 50% of the bigger move. Dollar has finding support. There's still buyers. If we have a weak number, the dollar pulls back, I would say that dollar pulling back is still going to find some support. Got a minute to go on these numbers. So I'm now going to get back onto my trading screens. You will hear on here now, you are going to hear the squawk come out with the numbers. Let me just remind you, I've got to reset that. I've got to remind you that because of the internet, you must be about 2 seconds behind me on here. So you may see the feed or the numbers elsewhere, but you'll hear it come out of the squawk pretty much as it happens. Just turning on the risk management tool here as well, and I'm going to put my pending orders in as well. Because I'm retail, chances are I'm not going to be fast enough to place a trade to capitalize on the second it comes out. Unfortunately, we are just too slow as retail traders to get that, but we'll see what indeed does come out.
10 seconds.
10 seconds to go. The risk will be only 0.5% to win. Here we go.
130,000, 130,000 there for non-farm payrolls. Unemployment rate coming in at 3.7%. Average hourly weekly earnings coming in at 3.2% year on year. For the month on month coming in at spot 4%. The change in private payrolls coming in at 96,000.
Okay, so that number's a slight miss, as I sort of thought would happen. A slight miss, maybe because of those ISM numbers yesterday.
All employees coming in at 34.4%. So moving to Canada now, net change in employment, coming in at 81.1 thousand. The employment rate coming in at 5.7%. Hourly wage rate.
So dollar CAD is coming back.
Change there, coming in at
dollar CAD, so CAD, good numbers out of the CAD.
Part-time employment coming in at 57.2 with a participation.
You're not seeing a change in dollar. Dollar yen is coming off a little bit.
Non-farm payrolls coming in at 130,000, miss on estimate of 160.
Okay, I would be
with the prior revised down to 159 from 164. The change in private payrolls coming in at 96,000 with the prior revised to 131 from 148,000. Change in manufacturing payrolls coming in at 3,000.
A slight miss, isn't it? I mean, this is a slight miss. This is going to keep us on track for, I would say, for a couple of quarter percent cuts, certainly by the year end. Certainly a quarter percent cut will be on the next meeting.
The labour force participation rate coming in at 63.2%.
Yeah, it's not moving very much at the moment, although the CAD's moving.
The unemployment rate coming in at 5.7%.
CAD is moving higher.
Average hourly wage rate coming in at 3.8%. Full-time employment change 23.8%, and the part-time employment change coming in at 57.2%.
This tells you exactly what's happening at the moment. So the CAD likes it. I haven't had time to digest the CAD numbers, but you can see this purple line here. This is showing you that the CAD is liking it. We got out of our dollar CAD trade, okay, prematurely, but that's okay. We took profits on there. Let's not kick ourselves about for that. This isn't moving, unfortunately. If anything, you're seeing a bit of a pullback in the dollar, and now we're finding a bit of support coming in. So I'm not rushing into a trade here at the moment just for the sake of it, guys, because I think it's a pretty sort of non-event in terms of the data. You're still in New Well done, Ed Porter. New Zealand dollar's on fire. Yeah, the CAD is coming back down. 31.86. 31.86 on that. Okay, just move stop to lock in profit. Well done, Ed. Well, congratulations to all you that took that naked trade set up from Wednesday. Didn't take long on this one. Nice profit on that. Good way to end the week. BLE still holding positions as well. Yeah. I didn't get to look at the CAD numbers. Oh gosh, big number in CAD unemployment. 81,000 in CAD. And expected 20,000. I tell you something, I sometimes think I'm in the wrong job. I should just analyse what the CAD employment numbers are going to look like, because they are so wrong. How can they be employed and get it wrong by so much? They've got to be basic. I don't know, are they just throwing darts at a screen or a board? CAD data are always so far out of line than what they're thinking.
Canadian dollar, they're strengthened to a 1 month high.
1 month high Canadian dollar after the BOC yesterday as well, which maybe they had insight to the numbers, but they were certainly the day before actually Wednesday. They were certainly less dovish than the market was expecting. Yeah, dollar CAD coming back down. Let's have a look here. But unfortunately, the US dollar's not doing very much. My bias focus is for the US dollar to grind higher a little bit. But what's Powell going to say this afternoon? Powell's going to come out and say that basically we're on track with data dependent softening of numbers, but the average early earnings were up 0.4, slightly better there, slightly better. I don't see any reason, bearing in mind that the Fed Fund futures rate is pretty much pricing in two cuts already. I'll be more inclined to look at this bit of price action here on you got that pin. You're taking out these lows here. I would pretty much say that 111 is going to be the cap of this for now. Intraday short, you may want to take a short here in euro dollar. Super security won't place a sell stop on non-farm payroll. Yes, nailed it. Max says, refer to a morning stream. He's done something. What have you closed out there, Max? Missed that. Let's have a look here. Okay, let's take a short here in the just turn on the trade, turn it on. We're going to have stops above the swing high. I'm going to go for a risk reward of 1 point. I'm going to get down to these levels here. So we got about a 30 pip profit target, and we're going to take a 28 pip stop. We're going to take a short trade here. Stops about up there. Just taking a short trade there. So that's basically used the risk management tool there. It's done the lot size for me, which on this account is going to be 0.38 of a lot. I have got about a 1.2 risk reward ratio. So I'm expecting the dollar possibly to push on a little bit from here. Having seen that good support level hold in the on the DXY, it shows you that the pullback we've seen in the dollar over the last couple of days or so has basically found some support. Okay, and I would say 20-30 pips, even if it pulls back, even if this dollar does pull back from here, I still would expect to see some support coming in here. Okay, we'll see how that plays out. Dollar yen is doing not a lot. Pretty quiet there. Okay. What's that euro dollar? Hey, it's all folks. Do I think Gold Save says, do I think the big move down in dollar CAD will retrace? Well, the dollar CAD has been, let's look at the dollar CAD. It's been a really, because great move to the downside. Profit target 1 and 2. Well, profit target 2 is down here. Profit target 1, nicely hit. I think the general bias for this currency pair, look, this is a bearish pattern up here. We called it on Wednesday. For those of you that took that, well done. This still, I don't think, is necessarily complete. This is obviously CAD strength is driving this as much as anything at the moment, because the dollar's not really moving. The US dollar isn't really moving. This is the, as I say, the loonie that's moving this currency pair. I think it's still got mileage to go. I still like that trade. We're out of the trade, as you know. I've just taken the profits before the number. But I think we've still got potential for this to grind on lower. Okay, to grind on lower. But of course, Powell could upset all that this afternoon. Is Powell going to play fiddle? Look, remember, the other thing to note here, just on the fundamentals now. Okay, Donald Trump is fighting an election. Donald Trump doesn't want the stock markets to be wiped out, the gains you've seen in the stock market. So remember, the people that are going to re-elect him, now they've got big 401 trading accounts. They don't want to see that given back. It's often more the case that an incumbent president gets elected when the economy is strong. It's all about the economy, stupid. So for me, this trade talks with China, that, and it's part of the deal. I think Trump's going to remain bullish on this, which is going to push further up the stock markets. Risk on means bonds come off, yields go up. US 10-year has already been moving up 10 basis points from last night. I would be, and obviously Powell's going to be talking about that again this afternoon. Talking about if there is an appeasement, if there is concessions with the Chinese, then that is something they've got to factor in. So possibly we'll see some bullish comments coming out, or less dovish comments less dovish can be construed as bullish, I guess. You know, so I think, you know, for me, you know, the US dollar finding good support in here at the moment. So, and the other thing, certainly with the euro dollar, this is Friday, next on the 12th, whenever that is, Wednesday next week, we've got the ECB. It's Draghi's penultimate ECB. The data that's been driving out of the eurozone has been pretty benign, to say the least. You know, plodding along GDP at 0.2%. You know, and you know, I think the euro is going to come under a bit of pressure over the next few weeks anyway. So euro dollar to the downside still makes sense. This is only just a short-term scout for the stream, you know, because you know, you had this sort of rejection at those levels, you know, but I think longer term that is still the bias for that for me. Okay, just having a quick look at the YouTube chat. Lacia JR7 says, "Can we have a look at the pound against the yen?" Okay, so you can tell it's live. Pound's been a funny one this week. It's been a great currency pair to trade on a reversal. If you looked at the naked strategies that we teach in the room, smashing signal in that, okay, at the support zone. So I know a lot of you traders in our room here took that big naked setup from Wednesday again. Wednesday was a fantastic day, in fact, wasn't it, for the nakeds? We had Wednesday, we had the euro dollar, we had the pound dollar, we had the pound yen, we had the dollar CAD, of course, that we took. But this one was another classic entry. So 4 out of 4 winners there. You know, 350 pips on that. Pound is basically taking a big sigh of relief now, as that the Brexit likelihood of crashing out with no deal has basically been pushed further away, because they basically voted it, and now it's illegal. It's going to be law pretty much on Monday that he can't basically crash out before the on the 31st of October with no deal. So he's calling for an election. So the pound is taking this bounce. Yeah. Do you remember in February of this year when they agreed to extend Article 50? The pound had a bounce. It bounced up 600 points. This is the same thing. We're extending. We're going to go for an extension. So pound has put on close to 500 points on against the yen. You know, is it coming to a head? I would say that this pound rally that we've seen, pound yen, pound dollar, could be potentially coming to a bit of a resistance zone. So we will look for price action. We'll look for price action to see that confirm that the pound rally is going to come into some resistance. I like to use these 50% pullbacks. I mean, look, even here, pound yen on the daily, you know, this level coming up to 132 is going to be really strong resistance, I would have said, on that. So the trend is still down. You know, I haven't seen this type of reaction to the massive uncertainty that we're seeing in the UK political system ever. All this uncertainty, and the currency is flying. I know we know why it's flying, because of the chances of a no deal, but the chances of a no deal are still very, very real. Even with an extension, extending is fine, but extending for what? Next event in the pound today, the weekend. Oh, yes indeed. We was expecting to hit the jackpot. You're up 14 pips on pound dollar, Richard says. NFP was a dud today, says Scottler. It was a pretty dull event. Let's just have a look back where we are. It's really slightly offside, I would have thought, on that. Pretty much unch at the moment, not doing very much. A couple of pips off, 10 pips off. But still like that, I think the stop's in a reasonable place for a rollback. Dollar finding support as the weekend draws into a close. So for those of you also, just generic, before I get on to, I know a lot of you in here just wanting the prizes, we'll come to those in a moment. For those of you that also follow the rest of the world economy, China today cut their reserve rate by 0.5%, okay, slightly unexpected. So consequently, you've seen this big push through in the Australian currency. The Australian currency is often like a proxy for the Chinese currency. Obviously, Chinese economy relies on raw materials, and Australia is a biggest exporter of raw materials to the economies such as China. So as they stimulate their economy, you'd expect that to be bullish for the Australian dollar, and indeed that is the case. So with the Australian dollar pushing up, with the China-US trade talks making more of a conciliatory tone, they've agreed to meet. Trump wants to get elected. Aussie yen continues to be a nice trade that we've been talking about. I've been talking about, if you've been following me, all week as well. Aussie yen now pushing higher as we speak. It's been pushing higher all week. So if you've been, we've lost streams this week. You've been following me. Lovely trend following currency pair. This here is on the 1 hour. We still see this of basically pretty much blue sky up to 74.5. So I still a big advocator of trying to get into this trend. The reason why I like to trade currencies is because it's two-dimensional. Yeah, you've got strength against weakness. You can buy a strong currency or a currency that's trading strong, and sell a weaker currency, a currency that's weaker against it, which is why we use this momentum meter. Here you've got this Australian dollar, the yellow-orange currency, strong. The yen, weak. Okay, that's the 1 hour. Here is the 4 hour. Okay, you've got the yen right down there at the bottom of the basket of currencies. This is risk on, yeah? Stocks are going up. The yen is a funding currency. So you sell the yen, you buy the currency of the stocks of the country you want to invest in, USA. So you sell the yen, you sell the Swiss franc. These are the low-yielding currencies. So funding is cheap, and you buy the other currencies against it. So yen, Swiss are weak. The bias is for Aussie to push higher. So Aussie yen, nice trade to the upside. Even a CAD yen, buying CAD yen also has some potential to keep on going. The CAD yen is another favourite of mine at this moment in time intraday. Okay, right. Great trend system you shared previously. Been busy with it for the last week. Mufasa, yes, I did indeed. Mufasa says here, great trend system I shared. He's talking about the one we put out on YouTube. I know we've got all those YouTube followers in here today. Good point, actually. I will mention that now you've mentioned that, Mufasa. Good to see that. I did talk about on that video. I don't know if you were using it, Mufasa, but this is the pattern finder, which you should be using. It really is going to save you a hell of a lot of screen time. Not only that, but it's also going to make sure that you don't miss any trades. It basically looks for these engulfing patterns and the pin bar patterns. Okay, so this is the revised version. If you are using it, I only found out this myself yesterday. You have this coefficient set at 0. Basically, it looks for every engulfer. If you have this is basically the candle size. So I want to make sure that I find every engulfer and every pin bar. If I tick on engulfers and pin bars, and I only want to look for the 15-minute and the 1 hour, and I look for patterns, it's going to show me all the patterns. And as new patterns emerge every 15 minutes, or because I've ticked 15 minutes, you are going to see a potential pattern. It actually also shows you which direction you should be trading. So let's have a look here. You've got the New Zealand CAD and the 15-minute. We've got an engulfer. If I click view, it's going to go straight to that. Of course, you're going to have that because of that. Well, maybe a CAD is not such a good one because we're going to have massive engulfers on the CAD at the moment. But certainly If you look here, we've got what have we got here? These are pound yen engulfer. View that one. See, you got a pound dollar, pound against the yen, a bullish engulfer there. This, folks, is actually quite a bullish little pattern. Okay, and I'll tell you something on the 1 hour. I know we just spoke about the pound yen. Okay, but this has pulled back. So we're trending up. Yeah, I think you'll agree here. We're trending nicely up here. Has a pullback. We take out that high, then we go into ascent mode. Okay, we go into ascent mode. We hit this high. We come back down. 50% of that move. You put in this bullish engulfer and this pin bar in the last hour. This, folks, is a bullish pattern intraday. You take high trades, long trades here. Okay, long trades there. You've got stops below the swing, below the candles here. So you've got about a 50 pip stop. And you go for these patterns. Move for that. I don't know if you're in that trade, but that's not a bad little setup to be in on a 1 hour chart. But as I say, that tool, if you don't already use it, it's invaluable. You can clear them all if you want to clear them. Once you've looked at them, you can take them off. So it just looks for the most recent ones. Of course, you're going to have lots of trades at the moment in the CAD and in golfers, but you can select. You know, you might just want to do this on the 4 hour chart. You know, if you look for the 4 hours in golfers, we can see here if there's any recent ones. Got a 4 hour Aussie CAD in golfer. Let's have a look at that one. Yeah, I mean, that's another strong pattern, folks. That is another strong little pattern. Pulls back into the array of moving averages, trades higher, now taking out these highs. Aussie CAD. I mean, we don't like the, you don't want to be necessarily selling the CAD, but the trend is up. Aussie CAD, not bad. Right, folks. I guess it's that time of the day again. It's that time of the day. Let's just have a quick look at the trades. We're not doing anything. Pound, it's just not moving, is it? The dollar, just not moving. But we'll see. Be nice to close the week on a bit of a scalp trade, bit of a scalp profit for non-farm payroll. So, some of you think this room is all about me and Max and Mark. Well, or is it? No, the reason why I generally believe this is the best place on this space, on the internet, best trading community, is not because of me and it's not because of Max or Mark. It's because of the people that we have in the room as well. We've got a great community here, and it works because of you. I don't sit here doing this because I need to. I sit here doing this because I really enjoy the community we've created here over the years. People say to me, I don't know about you, Max, I don't know if you're listening in, but people say to me often, if you're so good at trading, why are you sitting there doing that? Why don't you just trade for yourself? Well, because I've been trading for 33 years and I love doing this, the community that we have created. So this non-farm payroll event is a chance for us to say thank you for you guys that have been contributing to the room in the previous month, courtesy of the broker that pays for the commission, pays for the prizes, and that's IC Markets. It's not out of my money pocket, not out of Mark's, and it certainly isn't out of Max's. So just kidding, Max. But it's courtesy of IC Markets. We basically say thank you for the room contributors that have helped over the previous year, and we do that in the form of 3 prizes. We have a prize for the best room contributor for the month of the previous month. Then we have the best trade signal provider. We have a whole bunch of trade signals, as you know, and people that are watching here for the first time on the YouTube, you'll see a signal section. Let me just show that now. Here we've got the signals with lots of signals coming in from all the different users, the mentors as well. VJ's in there. You've got JUK. You've got Mark is in there as well, putting up his commentary. You've got Max and myself putting up signals as well. But also the members put up signals as well. So we'd like to thank the members that are taking that seriously and working. It doesn't have to be winning trades, but someone that's looking and taking it seriously. Lockwood versus Norbury. Yes, indeed. Thanks for being LF. If anyone wants to put a review into FP8, we really appreciate that as well. That really does help us. And it's right that people look at these review sites before they take on something. We've thankfully got a great bunch of reviews on the FPA. So thank you all for that as well. But this is a chance to actually give some cash to you as well. It's not my cash. So this week I would like to present the first prize of $500 goes to the best trade signal provider for the month. It was actually a tight run. So much so that in the last half an hour before I came on live today, it shifted between the three of us on our votes. But it was very tight. But the person that was in contention, it's up there for next month. So whoever that is, I'm not going to say who it was. Whoever that was, keep up the good work because we've got our eyes on you. Okay. So this week's prize for the best room contributor goes to So thank you very much. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce the name, but let's have a look. Boliu. Let me just show you why. In fact, he's not even online at the moment. I just checked. But look, here he goes. Here's his trade signals. He's putting lots of trade signals in there over the month, and they all follow a nice pattern as well. He's giving you the reasons why. He's giving you the SOP, the targets and so forth. Consistent. He puts effort into the charts, buy targets and so forth. So we've been watching this guy. Of course, he's in Australia, so he's asleep at this time of the day. But it's been consistent in his work in the room. So thank you very much as well. And you can see here, he also comments as well if you ask him any questions. So thank you very much, Boliu, for that. I'm sure someone will remind him on Monday or on the weekend, if anyone's on, that he's just basically won $500. So thank you very much for that. Right, okay, this is the best room contributor. Quite honestly, this guy should have won it. I mean, he's won prizes in the past, I know, so that's given a bit of a clue. But he should be winning it every month, quite frankly, for reasons. But he hasn't. He should be winning it every month. It is consistent in his support for the room. So I would like to say a big thank you, if only for the kudos to this week's winner, this month's winner of the best room contributor, and that goes to Now, I know, Wizard, I've got a couple of little issues going on there, but your work you've done every month is relentless. You are continuously contributing to the room, I mean, I know you do this every day. This is the naked setup, one of our trading strategies. For those of you who don't follow it, but if you do follow it, he puts all this work in. This is not, I know some people put the work in for other reasons as well, but this guy is putting all this work in just because he is contributing to the room. This is our strategy. This isn't going out to the world. This is our strategy. He's showing you all the different setups that you should be looking at. Okay, and he's putting all this. There's our momentum meter, new one coming out, not momentum, naked strategy. He's put all this work in as well. It is relentless, and I know we've got a couple of issues there on actually the delivery of the prize, but we'll sort that out somehow. So I'll talk to you after another time about that. But I wanted to say real big thank you, if only for the kudos as well, because it really is. It really is appreciated for the work that you put in here to the room. So thank you very much indeed, Wizard. And I don't think there's any person in our trading room today that's going to say that is not potentially the most worthiest winner we've ever had here at forexsignals.com. So thank you very much, Wizard Alvin. I think you did win a t-shirt at one point last year sometime. Or did you win a mug? I'm not quite sure now. Thank you indeed for all your hard work. Right, nothing going on in the markets. We're seeing nothing going on there. Let's just have a look here at the. Just want to have a quick look back at my momentum meter. Again, all these tools, by the way, they're all available in the trading lab. They're all free as well. So get yourself in there. If you have any questions, if you have problems installing, you can always contact support at forexsignals.com or touch me up if I'm in the room. You can, of course, if you're listening in on the YouTube channel, you can always sign up. I think there's a 7-day trial. I think wherever it is, down here or up there, there's a link somewhere that you can come into the room, join this bunch of happy campers. 7-day trial. If you don't want to stay, you don't have to stay. You don't have to stay. You can go away. It won't cost you a dime. But I'd love to see you if you want to come over and test the water. Right, for all those of you that don't get involved, for you those that are sitting there in the wings, just basically auditing what we do here, there's always, so that's okay, that's absolutely fine. There's always room to come in if you want to come in and say hi. But a lot of people don't actually get involved. Some do, some don't. That's fine as well. But this is a chance to say thanks for memberships. So basically, it's a random waffle of which Mark, myself, and Max have no say on whatsoever. It's completely and utterly random. I have no idea, which is why we haven't done some flashy little MP4 for you either. So I don't know. Who the winner is, and that's why we haven't done one of those. So this is the random waffle. Denzi's silly not listening because he's shorting gold. He's taking the Friday afternoon very seriously. I don't blame him. Don't know about shorting gold though. Just a bit of a pullback. We're having a bit of a pullback on risk on, but there's genuine buyers of gold. We've come back to quite a decent. We're coming into 1300, I think, 1500, I think, in gold, aren't we? I don't know if I'll be selling it myself here at this level, but that's fine. Right, here we go. So this is the random waffle, and I have to remind myself how to do this. Just keeping away, give away for. There we go. JUK says don't sell gold. Not at this level. I don't know either. Right, so it's down here somewhere. Where is it? It is awards. There you go. So this is completely random. These are last month's winners. Congratulations to you. You now have lost your crown to Wizard Alvin and to Boylio. The random raffle was here. That went out to scuba diving last month. That could be me. Could have been me and my family. Of which I have got most of the entrants are my family and my extended cousins. My wife is Filipino. She's got about dozens and dozens of brothers and sisters and multiple hundreds of cousins and relations. They're all in the raffle, so touch wood, I will win today myself. I'm joking, please don't put me on Forex Peace Army, he wins. I'm not in it. Well, I might be in it, but if I win, I'll rerun. If I win it, I'll redraw. Although, someone could win it under a name you don't know. And that could be one of my cousins. We will see. Right, click to launch the raffle. So what I'll do now is I'll pick a winner. You'll see all the names go through. You'll see all my family go through. And we will pick the winner and see what comes out. I don't pick a winner. It does it automatically. Bang. Here we go. What's your name? You'll see it in there. If you want to record it and play it back in slow motion, you'll see your name in there. Someone's done that. They recorded it, played it back in slow motion, and said they didn't see their name in there. When we did some further analysis, it was there. They missed it. Some people. Here we go. Pick a winner. Raffle building. Let's hope it is someone we know. Fahad 88. I have seen Fahad 88 in the room. I have indeed. Recently. So if you're listening in, congratulations to you. Is he in? I don't know. Is he in? $500 goes winging it out to you. Let's see. Is he in the room today? He's online. He's in the UK. He's got a horse. That's definitely not my family. So there you can see that's not my family. You'd never get me on a horse with a helmet. So that's great. To Fahad 88. Sometimes we get winners that we've never heard of before. But that's just the way it is. Never goes. Right, Max Gold took off. Let's buy. Can you buy another horse? Can you buy another horse for $500? Supposed to be paid for about a feed for the month. I would have thought. Let's have a look here. Not a lot. Remember, this is the level. Gold. Dollar is coming into this zone here at the moment. Not moving very much. Finding support here, I would expect. Let's have a look at the gold market. See what we are doing in gold. Well, yes, I wasn't watching gold. Is that just was that since we've been on? Just bounced off. Yeah, I wouldn't sell gold there either. We think we did that all right. Yeah, gold's taken off to the upside exactly as I was, we were saying. Whoever sold gold, someone shouted sell gold here. Yeah, I don't think we would be selling that at the moment. Good big level. There's definite buyers in gold out there. Okay, and this will be, folks, this, I think you'll agree down here, this is sort of like consolidation zone and gold. We've seen some certainly some price action here, a bit of a head and shoulders in here. Prices got in here. We're putting in this bullish engulfer now. If this gold gets above 1525, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see that go up and retest those highs there up at 1550. And if it breaks 1550 for it'll be the fourth attempt, then I would expect to see us make a meaningful challenge to the next level, the upside of 16 as well. I just want to have a quick look before we go at some bond yields, see what's going on in bonds this afternoon. We've got, let's have a look here, where is it? Just bear with me a second. Here we go. So these are the global bond yields. Okay, we like to look at these. So what you're seeing here in the US, is picking up now. This was down at 1.42 not so long ago, 1.44 on this platform. Now pushing up on their back of, say, look, gold. I beg your pardon. Dollar. With these bond yields pushing up the way they're going ahead of Powell's speech to say this could be as a bit of a support coming into dollar as well. You're seeing a kick up in all these currency pairs, actually, apart from the euro. So you're seeing the pound picking up. You're seeing the Australian 10-year, that's picking up as well. Nice kick at the end of that one. That was basically got down to 85 US. Aussie yields are picking up nice and strong, and so are the CAD yields as well. Remember, stronger yields should be leading to stronger currencies. But if you look back down here at the Japanese yen, that's pretty much flat. Chinese, I thought that Chinese would have picked up a little bit. Oh, it's come back, isn't it? I beg your pardon, because of the reserve cut. Yeah, yields pushing up. Powell this afternoon, I think he's on about 5 o'clock. Is that right? 5:30, something like that. Something like that. Stocks. So 1,500 point rally in the stock market since Trump started talking nicely to China. Yeah. Into the election. 5:30. Thanks, Max. Yeah. So since Trump started talking nicely and they've agreed to meet, since G7. Remember, on the day after the G7, they basically started saying, well, they phoned us twice. They want to do a deal. They didn't phone at all, did they? I don't know where we got that from. Apparently, not that I'm in the White House. I wouldn't know. But stocks are pushing up. And not far away now. Not far away from record highs in stocks. Suits me. Thank you very much. Trump doesn't want to see this crashing through the floor. Yeah, he's got less chance of getting elected if this is crashing through the floor. He can't control what the Fed are doing. He wants to control what the Fed are doing. He's telling Powell constantly how much he's doing a job because he's blaming the Fed for the economy. Well, he can't control the Fed, but he can control this. He can control what the what this side of the economy is doing with his protectionism, or his reduction of, or his reduced protectionism, or these trade wars that he's putting on around the world. So he's got control over that, and he can't control the Fed. So he's blaming the Fed, of course, when the stock market falls. But let's see. I would say that you're going to find positive talk out of that over the next few weeks, which will support the stock market, which will depress bond markets, which will push up yields, which will support the US dollar. US dollar is out. Did you know this? I mean, I'm sure you know it. If you trade the forex markets, you wouldn't. How could you not know it? This dollar. I know I'm going back to this screen again. This dollar, apart from just now, I mean, this got up to. You've got to go to the weekly. This is basically May 2017. We are at 2.5-year highs in the dollar, as all the other central banks race to the bottom as well. Right, folks. It's coming down at the moment, coming back down to those levels. Right, we'll leave that there. Okay, so just hopefully you have enjoyed that. If you're still in that short little scalp, we'll see where we're going. It's 17 pips offside at the moment. We have got stops up there at 106.65. 10.65. So we'll see how that goes. Decent place to have a stop. Hopefully you've not risked more than your permitted scalping amount. Gold is going up, says Sam P. Rev. Okay, folks, thanks for tuning in. If you are in the Asia Pacific and you're leaving us now, then have a lovely weekend. We will see you on Monday morning. Mark will be, of course, on the morning, Asian morning, when Asia Pacific open. That'll be basically the evening for us here in Europe. If you are in the US or the Eurozone and you're hanging around for the day, I'll see you this afternoon for the London Forex Market Wrap. But if you're leaving us for any other reason, then I wish you all a good weekend. For those that are hanging around, I'll see you this afternoon. Congratulations to all our winners. Congratulations to Wizard, Bullio, and Fahad88. Congratulations on that. Okay, folks, thanks for tuning in. Good luck.